what are some of the biggest offending foods we need to be aware of if we're going to have an omnivore diet?
Number one, if you're going to, as Jesse says, if you're going to insist on an omnivore diet, I'm going to get you to sign the disclaimer that says, and so therefore whatever happens is your own damn fault, because you should not eat an omnivorous diet. There is no such thing as healthy plant foods. That is an ideology. That is a propaganda that people have been sold for about 100 years by people who have an axe to grind. Okay? The exact requirement for plant food of any kind in your diet is not 1 single gram ever. None at all. That said, the things that you absolutely need to avoid, in my mind, above all else, because of the effect of these things, the demonstrable effects of these things, are the top item on the hit list of things to absolutely avoid is any industrial seed oil, vegetable oil of any kind. If you see it on the supermarket shelf and it's somewhere between clear and straw-coloured and it's a fluid in a plastic bottle usually, can be a glass bottle, doesn't matter what sort of bottle it's in, by the way. If it is liquid at room temperature and an oil, you should not consume it in your food, neither should you use it for cooking under any circumstances. That is the worst thing you can put into your body, bar none. The second worst thing you can put into your body is sugar or anything that readily turns into sugar, which basically is almost all of the carbohydrates, ergo almost all of the plant materials. The third, fourth, fifth, it starts to get quite even from that point on. Fiber, contraindicated. It will do your guts damage. It will destroy your enteric function probably in some way or another. And if it doesn't do that, it will almost certainly lead to a chronic systemic inflammatory overburden. And secondary to chronic systemic inflammation, the likelihood of various disease processes goes up exponentially. Which diseases? Heart disease, high blood pressure, strokes, cancers, most of them, and dementia. All the big killers of people in Western society before their time. All down to inflammation caused by inappropriate carbohydrate and fiber intake. So I'd get those things out of there. The seed of any plant, or the extract of seed of any plant. Seeds are the most toxic parts of a plant. Obviously, the seed doesn't want you to, well, the plant does want you to eat the seed, but the plant wants you to eat that seed whole without chewing it, swallow it, pass it through your digestive system and deposit it somewhere else so it can grow there with the fertilizer that you put there with it. As soon as you chew a seed up, disrupt its physical function, destroy its ability to grow into a plant, it releases toxins to tell you, don't do that. So you absolutely want to avoid all seeds, all nuts, all grains, all of those things that can themselves grow into a plant. The leaves and stems of most plants are highly toxic. The least toxic part of most plants are fruits. However, they come with their own set of problems. Fructose, which is highly problematic in its own right. So what we're left with basically, what we've boiled down to after all of that, is if you remove all those really serious problems from your diet, what's left? Meat and animal fat, butter and other dairy items as appropriate to your body. Some people react to dairy well, others don't. Salt. That's about it. Eggs are great for a lot of people as well. Eggs are a great source of nutrition, but a lot of people have allergic issues with eggs too. Yeah, so basically the rule of thumb is if you want to optimize your lifespan probably and your health span almost definitely, then what you need to do is avoid anything that's a plant or came from a plant, pretty much. Or at least vastly minimize that stuff. You are absolutely designed as an obligate hypercarnivore by 5 million years of both positive and negative selection pressures that have molded your body, your systems, your organs in that way. Unequivocally, no question. That's what you should do to optimize your individual odds of having the most healthy and longest life possible. Anything else and you're playing Russian roulette.
Let's talk about drinks. Earlier, you said you'd have an occasional beer. A lot of people having a carnivore diet are still having coffee. Water, obviously filtered water, is something that nobody's going to argue isn't necessary for the human physiology. So talk about how you feel about those and other beverages.
What an individual person does at any given tick of the clock or across time is their own call, is their own decision, obviously. I wouldn't necessarily sit and listen much to a person that would sit there and say, beer is great for you and you should have some. Other alcoholic beverages are great and fine and innocuous and you should have some. Coffee's awesome. I can't live without my coffee, some people say, which is absolute nonsense. Of course you can. I'm not going to sit in judgment because I too drink coffee. I have the occasional beer or 5. I also am a hedonist and have no ability to moderate myself. If I'm going off the wagon, I go off and then I suffer for the next 48 hours and swear blind I'll never do it again until next time. But what a person should do ideally is clear. There's no place in the diet for alcoholic beverages, fruit juice of any kind, coffee. No place for that. It's a recreational drug and it should be viewed as such. So when I have my sip of my coffee, I am undertaking, having made a determination that it doesn't seem to affect me too negatively at the level that I'm at, and it's my choice to do so. But is it optimal and is it safe and is it... No. A person should not do that. Cheers.
If you enjoyed that clip, press here for the full episode. I'll see you over there.
Insulin resistance is a normal, natural, indicated, and useful biological process. It is not a pathology, and it is not the cause of diabetes. The diet that these so-called scientists...